want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. All right, y'all know what time it is.
Oh, no.
No rules are allowed.
I'm white. I got you, huh?
Illegally selling water without a permit
On my property.
Whoa! Hey!
You don't live here.
I'm uncomfortable.
Oh, man, y'all. I'm telling you, it's a lot of these crazy folk out here. They ain't got no sense whatsoever. This California Karen went to her black neighbor's home. Yeah, went to the black neighbor's home. Accused his pit bull of biting her dog. The man said, "What the hell are you talking about? I got it all on videotape." Then she told him, "What kind of how y'all acting? How y'all acting? Y'all, roll this video."
We're raised around black people. And all most of them were very nice.
I got everything
You know
on
what?
camera. So you can leave, please. You can get off my property. My dog has never messed with your
You
dog.
would do anything to me again, I'll call the police.
Call the police. Everything's on camera. I'll be happy to show him. I'll be happy to show him. I
don't want to see that dog outside.
Well, he's going to be outside because I have a right to have him just like every other person in here. He ain't done nothing to you. He ain't done nothing to your dog.
Why are you so nasty?
I'm nasty by explaining to you that my dog hasn't done anything wrong. You came over here to my house on my property.
But the dog came to my
Ma'am,
property.
Look, I've been nice to you. I've helped you and your family. I've always talked to you.
You've
But
never
if-
helped me in my family. You've never done a goddamn thing.
You coming over here?
All you've done is been negative.
No, I haven't. I'm going to ask you to please leave my property. I don't know if you're just having a bad day or whatever, but today ain't the
I'm
day.
not having a bad day, but you know what? You're a black person in a white neighborhood, and you're acting like one. Why don't you act like a white person in a white neighborhood?
Keep it up. It's all on camera.
I don't give a shit what it is
All
on
right,
camera.
well, you can go back over to your house, and you can have a nice day. That's what you can do. And I'm going to keep walking my dog around this neighborhood.
And I look forward every time You know, your parents were nice.
My parents, if
They were very nice.
Say the same
Is there a
thing.
problem to why you're yelling on our property?
It's all right. She can.
Would you come over here?
She got a taser. It's all on camera.
You said what?
I have a small little dog.
Okay, but you don't have to talk to anybody in any disrespectful type of way.
You have a pit bull that came after her.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
When?
It's on camera.
Today, right now.
Can we see the footage?
I got the footage right here.
Let's see.
So when she lies and calls
And also, let's record you coming over here with a whole taser.
Why don't you record everything you can?
It is recording right now.
We're not talking about anything except that I have a small little dog and you have a pit bull.
And you're yelling with the taser, why?
I brought it over here
For
because
why?
of the dog. The dog attacked my dog.
The dog's not even outside, ma'am.
He was outside. He was in front here.
He attacked her. Where's your dog?
He didn't attack the dog. I have it on camera.
You know what?
What?
You guys are acting like black people, and you shouldn't. You should act like black people.
We what?
You're acting like Karen.
I was raised in Oklahoma around
Wait,
black
can
people.
you repeat that one more time? We're acting like what?
I was raised in Oklahoma City, where there were tons of black people.
But we're acting like what?
You're acting like people that aren't normal.
Okay. This will be
You're
real
acting like
nice
people that
when
aren't
you're on
normal.
the news, when you're on social media, get the fuck off
Get
the
off our
property.
property. Get off our
Get the
property.
fuck
You
off
know,
the
I have a
property.
top secret clearance. You
I
know
don't
what
give
these
a
people
fuck,
are?
bitch. Get the fuck off the property.
Go back in the house. Go back in the house. Since we're acting like black people. Right? We're acting like black people, and that's not normal.
Most people don't act like you do.
How are we acting? How are we acting? You came over here with a taser. You
I came over here because your pit bull attacked my little dog.
He didn't attack your dog. Not at all.
Your son was out here with it.
And he didn't attack the dog. The dog, I saw the dog. I saw you pet the dog. You
I
pet the
didn't pet
dog.
the dog. I just pet the dog because I wanted to see if he was okay.
You didn't pet the dog, but you pet the dog because you wanted to see if he was okay.
Why don't you record all this and put it on?
I am recording it. You about to be famous.
You know what? You're going to go?
You're about to be famous. Where am I going to go? Where am I going to go?
You're going to go to hell.
Okay.
Because I'm going to sue the hell out of you, both of you.
All right.
All of you.
All right.
Get out.
Hello?
Hey.
Where are you?
Right over here. How you doing?
Hello, kind of cool. Yeah, and your dad says it's okay. What's his name? Dash. Dash.
What are you gonna do about a little dog like this? And that you go.
Ain't no pit. He ain't done nothing to your dog.
Can you back
So what about
up?
what about all the other big dogs around
You
here?
know, most people in Oklahoma that I know that were black were normal. Are you guys not normal?
I guess not.
I mean, we got along with them really well.
You keep walking over here with your fucking taser.
Jeriel, go in the house.
You were yelling.
Go in the house, Jeriel. Go in the house. Go in the house. Let's show the world who has class and who doesn't.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's gonna be real nice when there's hundreds of people in front of your house because you want to be a racist white woman, Karen. Back the fuck up.
Get off my property.
Keep touching, I'm gonna smack the
You know what?
Get
I
out.
have a top secret parent. You know what's going to happen to you guys?
You about to lose it.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Yes, you are. Especially after this.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot that you're doing.
Yeah, you about to lose a lot.
Are you white?
You wish I was, huh?
Well, you look like you're white.
Well,
But I was raised with black people, and they were very nice. Most of the black people I knew were very nice in Oklahoma City. Have you been to...
That conversation for me, Michael, went about 4 minutes and 40 seconds too long.
Yeah, I don't. They could have done. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why they just didn't call the popo on her. It's just a shame the gall that folks have gotten and had over the last 420 some odd years, but the fact that they still have it in 2020 because of this culted personality that's been at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. She thinks she can do what she wants, call people what she wants to call them. And yeah, you're right. I wish they had just called the police on her and let them let them sort it out, because that was too long of a conversation, and it's just unfortunate.
If you walk your ass up on my property, Kelly, I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
And then you ain't got no mask on. I'm trying to tell you.
Like, that was one of the first things that I noticed. I'm like, you don't have a mask. You're not socially distant. You 3 ways to Sundays types are wrong. Like, there was nothing right about what this woman did. And the poor dog is looking at everybody like, I don't know why I'm here. I don't know what she's talking about. I'm with the black man on this because this don't make no sense. I want to go home. I want to go home. Like, nothing made sense here. If there's nothing that dumb white people have, it is the audacity, the caucasity, if you will. Because the fact that she felt comfortable enough to be in my space on my property, like, no, I don't have the patience for that. She would have been on the ground within 30 seconds if she was in my face for that long.
I'm just saying. I mean,
absolutely no sense to me.
I'm telling you.
Kudos to that family for having the patience and the grace necessary to navigate that situation well. But I can tell you right now, it could not be.
And Michael, the husband, really knew that the wife was about to go #team get that ass on her. He was like, go on in the house, because he heard the intensity of her voice. She's like, she about to whoop your ass. So let me just go ahead, go in the house, go in the house. That he was trying to say to the white woman.
Like, I'm trying to save your life.
She dropped the B word, 3 or 4 times? That should give you an indication she's about to go off on her.
Hey, she was letting her know right then, like, look, it's about to be a problem up in here. So y'all might want to go ahead and get this little nonsense straightened out. But, I'm telling you, that's how these folks roll.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. I have told y'all on numerous occasions, do not trust Donald Trump and the Republicans when it comes to black people. Guess what? They are showing their true colors. Everywhere they're complaining about voting is where black people vote. They've complained about Philadelphia. They complained about Atlanta. They've complained about Milwaukee in Wisconsin. They've been complaining about Detroit in Michigan. And what happened last night as we were signing off the show, 2 Republican members of the Wayne County Board of Canvassers, it's a 4-member board, deadlocked, saying they were not going to certify the results. In fact, the Republican on the board even said, oh, we'll certify them except for Detroit. Sounds to me like they were talking about black people. Now, when the vote was taken, the deadlock vote 2-2, oh, Republicans were rejoicing. This was Sean Hannity and Fox News last night.
Sean, I've just got to get to you with Michigan, which you mentioned there as you came to me. I held up these papers, these affidavits, 234 pages of sworn affidavits under penalty of perjury. These are from one county.
What did CNN say about when you held them up on this program? Didn't they accuse you of holding up blank sheets?
That's right. They did about a 10-minute monologue saying these were blank. They're not blank. In fact, these pages of paper from one county were the reason that you had a county-level Wayne County canvasser say we cannot certify this election because of these witnesses. They're real people. And one reporter tweeted out, this is the first time in my 20-year history I've ever seen something like this, a county commission refuse to certify. It's because for the first time, you have a president for fighting for the forgotten men and women in Detroit and Philadelphia and Democrat cities across the nation.
Well, guess what? After a huge outcry, I'm talking about massive, Wayne County came back and re-voted. Unanimous decision to certify the results. All counties in Michigan have now done so. They stipulated, though, that they wanted the Secretary of State to actually do an audit to talk about these discrepancies in voting. Yeah, that was fine, but guess what, y'all? Last night, there was a public hearing, and folks got to speak on this issue. And man, Ned Stabler went after. He's the first of all, the president and CEO of TechTown and vice president for economic development at Wayne State University. He went off on the 2 Republicans, name checking them. All I'm saying is, my man Ned, drop the mic. Play it.
We also know that the Secretary of State and the Attorney General have already tweeted out that your legal arguments are rubbish and you're going to lose when it comes to court. So we're not worried about that at all. I'm also not worried about any of your, things are bad so we can't certify arguments, because that's just ridiculous. You certified in August when they were worse. Less than 50% of the ballots were recountable. Now over 72% are. 58% of them were even balanced when it was less than 30% last time. So it's doubled. It's gotten way better because the Secretary of State actually jumped in and did her job, unlike you. But I know it's not going to change your opinion. You talked about not certifying Detroit, even though you acknowledged that Livonia, a city, by the way, I know you know is 95% white, had bigger variances than Detroit, which is 80% black. We understand, and you've now added your name. So I'm not going to try to change your mind. I just want to let you know that the Trump stink, the stain of racism that you, William Hartman, and Monica Palmer have just covered yourself in is going to follow you throughout history. Your grandchildren are going to think of you like Bull Connor or George Wallace. Monica Palmer and William Hartman will forever be known in southeastern Michigan as two racists who did something so unprecedented that they disenfranchised hundreds of thousands of black voters in the city of Detroit because they were ordered to. Probably, I know, Monica, you think Q told you to do it or some other crazy stuff like that. But just know when you try to sleep tonight that millions of people around the world now on Twitter know the name Monica Palmer and William Hartman as two people completely racist and without an understanding of what integrity means or a shred of human decency. The law isn't on your side, history won't be on your side, your conscience will not be on your side, and Lord knows, when you go to meet your maker, your soul is going to be very, very warm.
Ooh. Y'all, Ned, you can come to the cookout. Folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one. Seek.com, founded by Mary Spio, a sister, have these amazing VR headsets. Allows for you to watch their content, the virtual reality content, right here on the headset. You simply pop your phone right into here, close it up, and then you will put yourself in the room watching their VR content on Seek.com or, of course, content that is on other platforms. And so you can check that out. They also have these are 4D 360-degree headphones right here with tremendous bass that really distributes the sound all across your head. It's great. You can attach a headset to it, so you can actually use it for gaming and playing with free hands. There's Bluetooth as well. So all of these, get one of these items, or you can subscribe to the content at Seek.com by going to Seek.com using this promo code. It's RMVIP2020, RMVIP2020. These, of course, could be some great headphones coming up for birthdays, Christmas, you name it. And so if you want to do that, just go use the promo code right here, RMVIP2020, RMVIP2020, by going to Seek.com, and we certainly appreciate them being a partner here with Roland Martin Unfiltered. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. I want to talk about this here, and that is, for us as African Americans, when do we actually take a righteous stand against absolute craziness? Jamal Bryant posted this video the other day, and it was a video that was posted by Joni Lamb. She is the co-founder of Daystar. And I want you, I want to pull this up, and I'm going to explain something on the back end, but I want y'all to see the video first. Go to my iPad, please.
The president has every right to look into allegations and to request recounts under the law.
This is a very big moment. This is a major fraud in our nation. We want an honest election. We want an honest count. We can't allow anybody to silence our voters. We can't let that happen to our country.
That was a Stop the Steal rally that Joni Lamb, co-founder of Daystar, posted on her page 4 days ago. Now, what's interesting is that I was one of the folks who went to Joni Lamb's Instagram page to share my disgust with that ad. And the reason I was checking out to go to Jamal's page because a poor little Joni blocked me on Instagram because I posted some comments along with a bunch of others. They wiped the comments. I went back and posted some more comments, but they went ahead. So let me say this right here. Here is the co-founder of a Christian television network that airs a significant number of sermons from black preachers. And she puts on here this, and she had lots of pray for Trump posts on her page and all this sort of nonsense. And the thing is, Daystar wants to rely on black preachers using the tithes and offerings of black people to pay for their television ministry. And then she puts this nonsense up, a Stop the Steal rally in a state Trump beat Biden by 800,000 votes. So what the hell is Joni Lamb and Daystar saying was stolen? I'm confused. See, this is the nonsense that you see from these white conservative evangelicals. And see, again, Daystar ain't got no problem with black dollars. They've got no problem with black viewers. But her supporting this nonsense that the election is stolen, I'm telling you right now, if you are the member of a church, if you are the member of a pastor who is broadcasting on Daystar, you should tell your pastor, pull your program off Daystar. You should say that your tithes and offerings will not go to people who are so petulant and childish in supporting and backing a tyrant that they would openly lie and support such nonsense. I don't care who it is. Daystar should get no black money whatsoever, Michael Brown. None. Penalize Joni Lamb, Marcus Lamb, pull the programming off and say, we're not going to appear on your network.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Roger Stone actually started this whole Stop the Steal campaign 4 years ago because he thought that Secretary Clinton was going to win the election. So this was really started 4 years ago, and clearly it's working out perfectly from his standpoint and 45 standpoint for this campaign. But, again, same thing. Black churches have a whole different standard that they have to adhere to relative to any kind of political activity. But when it's a white church, especially these right-wing evangelists, they have to say, we can get involved in as much politics as we want. No one's going to put a target on our heads. No one's going to take away our 501c3 status. But boy, if you're a black church, you even think about mentioning something political in your church, somebody's going to say, put up the red flag. Wait a minute, they need to have their 501c3 status revoked. So the standards are different. These people think they can do whatever they want. Again, hopefully we'll see an active Justice Department. No one's suggesting that anyone should go to jail or be convicted of a crime yet, but send them a letter. Send an agent down to talk to them and say, look, you're skirting the laws. You're right on the line. Maybe you should take a step back. But until those kind of things happen, these people are going to continue to act any way they want as long as they're.
Look, I don't care who you are. I dare say, Kelly, don't run your conferences on Daystar. Don't have your sermons on Daystar. Don't appear on Daystar. It is abundantly clear that Daystar does not care about all Christians. What Joni Lamb and Marcus Lamb care about are their white conservative evangelicals. And fine, if you want to sit here and support Trump on your Instagram page, fine. But to sit here and promote a Stop the Steal rally, oh, hell no. Hell no. And I'm telling you right now, no black pastor should be airing their sermons or any programs on Daystar, Kelly. None.
I mean, I agree with you there. Obviously, the challenge is where else would they air it? I mean,
no. That's not a challenge, Kelly. That's not a challenge. You got TBN.
What I'm saying is, I agree with you there in that there are other options. I'm just saying from the viewpoint of a pastor.
No.
No.
And what I'm telling you, the viewpoint of that pastor is wrong because there are now multiple religious networks. Secondly, we're now living in the digital world. You don't even need Daystar. Hell, you can go right too. So any pastor using that excuse, that's already gone.
Oh, well, then there you go. No challenge then, right? But again, when you said that they don't care about certain Christians, I would argue to say that they don't care about Christians at all. I would argue that they are not really following the teachings of Christ himself, because Christ would not be supporting a tyrant. Christ would not be supporting people who literally hate others and make it their duty to hate others and make sure that we know that they hate us. Christ was a marginalized person of color who was a target of the government at large. He would not be in support of this president. He would not be in support of anybody who would support this president. So for you to say that you're Christian, for you to say that you follow the teachings of Christ and that you love your neighbor as yourself, and yet you still ascribe to this cult-like doctrine that is Trump and white evangelicalism and Eurocentric Christianity as a whole. I've been saying this a lot on the show, but the cognitive dissonance is right there. Like, you can't serve two masters, right? I mean, because that is a master in and of itself. And you cannot serve that kind of government. You cannot serve that kind of ideology and still consider yourself Christian. Not anymore, anyway. Like, you shouldn't have in the first place. But you definitely can't do it now in 2020.
The thing here, Joseph, is that, again, the way Daystar makes their money is pastors pay for the programming on Daystar. And so they are paying to have their sermons or their programs run on Daystar. And it's like, fine, Joni Lamb, if that's how y'all want to roll, no problem, go right ahead. You're not getting our money. And I'm telling you, every single black preacher who is on Daystar should pull their programming immediately and say, you are not going to get any of our money. No way.
Well, and if there are pastors who are about history, you know, the three words that come to mind for me are Montgomery bus boycott. You know, you aren't treated fairly. You're being exposed to racist behavior and racist dialogues. I mean, pull that. Yeah, I mean, there are plenty of other ways to make your money, plenty of other ways to get your message out, if it's more about the message than the money. And why should you support someone who has these sorts of ideas and attitudes? So the answer is clear. The question is, do the pastors have enough fortitude and enough sense of history to take collective action here? And only time will tell.
Well, look, only time will tell, but the bottom line is here. This is the moment how we use our economic power. There are other options. They're not the only option. And so, fine, Joni, that's how you want to roll? Cool. Black dollars don't have to be spent on Daystar paying for your hair and everything else like that. So here's the deal. Here's what I want my audience to do. I want y'all, if y'all look at Daystar, I want y'all, so people can watch at different times. I want y'all to look at Daystar or pull up their programming guide. In fact, I'm going to sit here. Matter of fact, let's see what I got over here. I got my Roku. Let's see right now. Because, see, I was looking for the guide on their website. Yeah, y'all know I don't play this. I was looking for the guide on their website and did not see the guide. So I want to know, so y'all tell me, if y'all look at Daystar, I want y'all to tell me who is on, what black pastors are on Daystar, and then what we will do is we will call them personally. We will call them directly. And so easiest thing for y'all to do is just shoot an email real simple, and just send us an email, info@rolandsmartin.com. Send us an email, and yeah, we want to see exactly who they have on their network to let them know and whether or not they endorse that particular nonsense. And it's cool. Here's the deal, Daystar, y'all can do whatever you want to. You ain't getting black dollars. Not gonna happen.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have that you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. The Brevard County Sheriff's Office has released Dashcam video of last week's fatal shooting in Florida that left 2 black teenagers dead. Here's a video. We showed this yesterday. We want to show it to you again. Check this out.
Stop the vehicle! Stop the vehicle! Stop the vehicle! Stop! 1033. Stop the vehicle, goddammit! Stop! Stop!
Now, the teams identified as 16-year-old A.J. Crooms and 18-year-old Sincere Pierce were fatally shot by deputies who were conducting a stolen car investigation. A mother of one of the victims said her son got in the car with friends around 10 a.m. Friday, November 13th. He and his friends then started driving away when all of a sudden deputies pulled up behind them and told them to get out of the car. That's when she pleaded with the officers and begged them to not shoot her son. Officers ignored her pleas and then opened fire, killing the 2 teens. Both officers involved have been placed on administrative leave. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement is investigating the case, and attorney Benjamin Crump will be representing both families. Joining us now to discuss this further is attorney and human rights activist Natalie Jackson. Natalie, first and foremost, was the car actually stolen?
No, the car was not stolen. We actually have interviews from the young lady whose car it was. Her A.J. Crooms was her boyfriend, and he was driving her car. And I think that's really, that starts where we need transparency in this case. The Sheriff's Department issued a statement after this happened on Friday. On Tuesday, the Sheriff's Department issued a statement saying that they were driving a probable stolen car. At that point, the sheriff knew that the car was not stolen. And I think that from there on, we've just kind of gone down a rabbit hole as far as what the community believes from the Sheriff's Department and if they're going to get a transparent and fair investigation.
So where did the stolen car line come from? Did somebody call it in to say the car was missing?
No, this car was never called in and reported missing. Apparently, and I don't even know if this is true, and that's the problem when you have a sheriff who issues a statement with a known falsity in it. You have to question everything else that he says. But apparently, they were doing an investigation of a stolen car, and they thought this was the car.
Whoa. They were doing an investigation, and they thought this was the car.
Yes.
So they decided to pull this car over. Now, we only see have they released the full dash cam video to show? So we have the dash cam video right here. Guys, go to this video here. this in-car camera. This is, now stop it right there. Stop it, freeze it, freeze it. So the vehicle that they were, the two teens were driving, that's their car, correct?
That is AJ Crooms, who was the driver. That is his girlfriend's car.
And he's driving his girlfriend's car. She's not in the car, right?
No, she's not in his car, but he's driving with her permission.
Right. And so, and whose driveway is he pulling into?
That's in a neighborhood. So what we do have is ring cam video from the neighbors, and surveillance videos from the houses of the neighbors. So Sincere Pierce, one of the teenagers who was killed, we have ring cam video from his house. He was picked up at his house, and 4 minutes later he was dead. So his mother saw the whole thing.
So AJ was driving. He picks up Sincere. They're going down the streets. Cops pull up behind them, and then they pull them over not far from Sincere Pierce's home. Exactly. Okay, roll the video, guys. So if you roll the video here, you see an officer getting out of the car. The car is backing up. Guns are drawn. So now here's what, guys, do me this favor. Do me this favor here. Can you roll the video back? Because here's what I'm trying to understand, Natalie. I didn't see police lights on.
Right.
So if I'm driving the car, I mean, I know it's two cops behind me, and if I don't see police lights on, guys, yeah, go. I want y'all to start and go back. I'm just trying to understand if I don't know the cops are behind. So when they pull to the drivers to the driveway and back up, I don't know, who they're pulling over.
Well, even more so, Roland, is that this was not a high-speed chase. This was not the teens didn't commit any traffic violations. So when you're ordered to get out of your car at gunpoint, what do you think?
So here's my point. So right here. Okay, freeze it right there. We just showed the video. Nowhere in this video were the lights flashing.
Exactly.
So the car pulls over, the car turns left. There's no, I would assume, I don't think there's any audio on here. It's not like they're on their speaker saying, police pull over. So the car pulls over, now roll the tape. They don't know, but I back up. All of a sudden, I'm backing up. Boom, she's got gun drawn.
Exactly. And what we know is that from seeing cases like Philando Castile, where he stopped and complied and still got shot. We've seen people who leave, they still get shot. So what is a young teenager supposed to do when they're faced at gunpoint with police officers yelling at them? What do? I think that what's really important here is the law. So let's talk about the law in this case. The law says that a police officer can fire into a vehicle if he's in fear that the vehicle will cause deadly harm to him or serious bodily harm. However, the law says if he can get out of the way, he should. So what we see in this video is that the police was never in harm's way. In fact, he shot Sincere, who was in the back seat, in the back of the neck and the chest. So, and we see all the gunshots on the front and the back and the side of the car. This officer, the car passed right by him. He was never in harm's way.
Right, and in fact, I'm trying to understand here. Guys, go to the video right here. They had backed out of the driveway. They're in the street right here. And then if y'all roll the video, if you actually take the video back, the cop, roll the video right there. So they pull over. The police officers are blocking the street.
Exactly.
So when he backs up, he's really driving to the next driveway. There's no place to go.
Exactly.
And again, I go back to this point here. So the cop right there on the left-hand side. You see the cop freeze it right there. The cop in the right-hand side car, I think it's a woman.
It is a woman. It's
a woman. She retreats behind her car.
Yes, and she did not fire her weapon either.
Right, but the point is, she retreats behind her car. The cop who fired his weapon on the left, he's standing in front of the car. When he's shouting, he could have done the exact same thing she did, which was retreat behind the car. So if you're thinking they're going to run me over, they're not. No, what does he do? Roll a video. He actually moves forward to the car and then fires into the car.
Right, and follows the car and continues to fire into the car as he's following it.
Wow.
And that is what, and Roland, I want to make sure we understand, this is a 16-year-old boy that died and an 18-year-old boy that died. And these are boys who, Sincere, like I said, he had just left his mother's house 2 to 4 minutes prior.
That is beyond sad.
And all of this was in Sincere's neighborhood. All of this that happened was in his neighborhood. It is very sad. And I will tell you, the thing that I'm most worried about in this case is when people say, why didn't they just stop? Because as a young black or brown man in a disadvantaged neighborhood, when police pull up on you with guns drawn and you have done nothing, there is a fight or flee mentality there. What do? We've seen this over and over again. So I'm flabbergasted when people ask me, why didn't they just stop?
This here's some video that's on Twitter. There were a protest that took place yesterday there in Brevard County. Folks are certainly still outraged by this. Natalie Jackson, appreciate it. Certainly keep us updated on this case.
Thank you, Roland. I appreciate you being the truth seeker and helping us with this.
All right, thanks a bunch. Go to my panel here. This, Erica, is so disturbing because, again, it goes to police action. It goes to decision making. It goes to you're pulling somebody over allegedly for a stolen car. We find out no, there was no stolen car. Now, 2 young brothers are dead. 116, 118.
Woo. Yeah, this is not getting any easier. And for anyone that is related to those families, my sincerest condolences, because these are 2 Black children who had promise over their life. But again, we see actions by the state who are birthed out of slave patrols since 1704, who really don't have any oversight, who are taxpayer funded, that sign up for these positions to protect and serve, but what they actually are is executioners. And honestly, I don't give a damn what defund the police or abolish sounds like. It's time to do that. Because if anybody believes that reform is possible with people that use Black faces as trigger practice and then go out and actually execute Black and brown bodies on a daily basis, we make up 13% of the national population. I'm going to quote Project Pat from Cheese and Dope, just one little sentence. Use a damn fool. It's not going to happen. There has to be accountability now.
It is always difficult, Greg, to play one of these videos. But it's also important for us as we deconstruct them. It is very difficult for mothers and fathers of Black teens. I've got 2 twin 16-year-old nieces in my house. Do not have nephews who are in my house. But I can tell you right now, it would be scary as hell. It would be scary as hell to every moment one of my Black nephews would leave the house. I mean, Natalie the boy left the house and was dead 4 minutes later.
Roland, this is the beautiful thing about life. Every moment we get to choose differently. And I know we were all thinking about it, listening to Congresswoman McBath and looking over her right shoulder, and you can see that picture of Jordan Davis, her son, back there. Erica's right. I mean, you're a damn fool. And I'm listening to Eric. I'm listening to you say something about your son. Mm-hmm. And we know that none of us are safe. So I'll just say this very quickly. I'm glad to hear Natalie Jackson I certainly am confident that she not only knows the law, but is going to be in the street. To our brother Ben Crump, I would say this. You know, we got a lot of lawyers, Roland, in the United States and in the world. And this isn't in any way a critique of Ben Crump, but there's a certain aesthetic of pleading. There's a certain aesthetic of kind of a kind of diminished capacity to exert ourselves that hardens in these narratives. You see the execution, then you see the pleading, then you see the idea of asserting some notion that there are some rules that are being played by. So let's set aside the kind of Crump universe. I'm just going to label it that. Again, not being critical of Ben Crump, but saying we've got to break out of this idea that there are rules. The sheriff there, shout out to Wayne Ivey, a real Klansman, who just defeated Alton Edmond, a brother who ran against him there in Brevard County, who was crushed. Wayne Ivey crushed him. Shout out to all the white nationalists in Brevard County who recognize that this isn't about the law. This is about your damn white nationalism. Wayne Ivey, a Trump supporter, who has made videos bragging, who has told citizens to arm themselves. Let's be very clear. I'll end with this. Florida has the death penalty. Japhet, Santiago, Miranda, the execution of Angelo Cruz and Sincere Pierce should be given the death penalty. Yeah. And if Ben Crump doesn't call for the death penalty, I'm not talking about let's investigate. No, we all know what we saw. Okay. You know, we are heading toward the moment when Sheriff Ivey's admonition that we arm ourselves, we're going to finally hear it. And when we do, it will not be putting a car in reverse. I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. And I hope you understand what I'm saying. Ben Crump, let's hear you talk a little different this time, brother.
Racy.
Like Erica said, this really doesn't get any easier. And I mean, you know, it should not be a death sentence to not get everything right? I mean, like, you know, it's not about following every rule. It's not about, you know, presenting yourself as being non-threatening. Even if they were threatening, even if they did every single thing wrong, there's no basis for executing these two young Black men for no damn reason. Like 4 minutes from leaving your home and you're dead is just, it's unconscionable. And so I think we have to, as a society, and I don't know if we'll get there, to be honest with you, but we have to change the standard. And that might sound naive. I'm sure it sounds probably naive to Erica and to Dr. Carr, but I think we do have to change the standard, at least in our society, that says that, you know, that civilians have to be perfect and cops can just be guns of the Navarone anytime that somebody doesn't, quote unquote, comply with their standards. As Ms. Hamilton stated, the cop was easily, you know, he was easily able to get away. And I always just wonder in cases like this, and even the case that we saw in Georgia at the I believe it was a Wendy's, and I hate that I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now. But okay, if a person runs or if a person flees in the car, so what? You know, you have the license plate, you can track them down, or maybe you know.
That's what's so basic here. That's what's so basic here. You've got a license plate. And it's real simple. Y'all get away, don't worry about it. We gonna arrest you. Matter of fact, we got 2 cars. We will follow you.
That's what always trips me out, is that it's always like
these thugs, look, Reese, they mad as hell right now with Warnock trying to say he called police thugs. Damn it, you call folk thugs who act like thugs.
Mm-hmm. These are Klansmen, Roland. Kelly Loeffler and Perdue formed a white nationalist Klan alliance after that clown Collins formed an alliance with her in the Senate. Perdue evoked God yesterday in this. This is the Klan. They don't look. They're not going to look for a way not to execute. That boy, that man who should be under the threat of a death penalty, Santiago Miranda, got out of that car with his gun. He was going to kill them when he came out the car. If the jury can't do it, damn it, somebody in the street is going to do it.
Now remember, Now remember, now not only that, that particular officer also was arrested in April of this year for domestic violence. Why is he still on the streets?
Because that's obvious kind of me.
Why is he still on the streets? Was arrested in 2007 for a felony. It was expunged off his record. How is he even a cop?
What Ivy, the sheriff of that county, has gotten praise for leading domestic violence initiative.
He was found. Go to my iPad. He was found. His name is Japhet Santiago Miranda. He was found guilty. Records from the Osceola Clerk of Court show that in 2008 he was found guilty of burglary to a dwelling unarmed, as well as aggravated assault with a firearm. Then, according to it says it is not clear how Deputy Miranda was able to be hired as a Brevard County Sheriff's deputy with those charges, but the name and date of birth are a match. Also, again, it's not clear if this was from the it's not clear if he was disciplined for the domestic violence charges. In January 2019, he was recognized as Deputy of the Month. He is currently on paid administrative leave while the shooting is investigated. But to Greg's point, Sheriff Ivy has come out in his defense.
Those cops are commonplace. There are some good police officers, but damn it, when you hiding behind that badge, anybody puts that uniform on, puts that badge on, and stands up and back this boy right here, you're on the other team. We need to stop pretending. See, they're not shooting at people. They are shooting at animals. We are not human. They are trained. This is the point. And so this is going to stop when they realize that we respect our lives enough to take theirs if they threaten ours. I just hate to put it that way, but this isn't going to stop humanity. I don't want to hear no more press conferences in front of the sheriff's office talking about we want justice. And forget Black Lives Matter. You know when people understand Black Lives Matter? When they understand that you'll take their life.
This is what happens, though, Erica, when folks say that's vigilante. What happens when the response is an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth doesn't work? I mean, what we are dealing with, and again, you're going to hear, a few bad apples. But the problem is you got a guy with a felony arrest in 2008. His wife is a cop, was arrested for beating her in April of this year, and the sheriff is still defending him?
Of course. You know, Roland, we have been in this country under vigilante law, right? And so, whenever people talk about free and fair elections and, some semblance of democracy, which I've used that language as well, that has not been, free and fair has not been the Black experience, not for us who built this damn country where people have been able to profit beautifully off of Black labor. So, the few bad apples, that is a retired commentary. We have, as Dr. Carr has said, we have a clamor that has been activated. They've been activated for quite some time. When you have a whole group of people that enforce laws based off of Black people who had freedom to make sure that that freedom was largely rejected, then you have a corrupt system. It has to be abolished. It cannot be reformed. It has to be abolished. It has to be defunded. And it actually has to be what some would say reimagined. But you cannot undo what people believe is their right, which is, as Dr. Carr said, is to really take down the animal. That 3/5 compromise, that 3/5 clause, we're still that for a large population of people, and that cannot be undone. That is not the way that they see us. So until that there is some real action, until there is some real accountability, we're unfortunately going to see Our sons, our daughters, our nieces, our nephews, mothers, fathers, uncles, people in our family headline, and sometimes not headline, but be executed at the hands of those people that, again, are supposed to be taxpayer-funded service, who go home, stay on administrative leave, they sleep lovely, they do interviews, and they still come back to work, or they go somewhere else to do the same type of execution work.
Final comment, Reese.
I don't have the answers. And I can't express any kind of faith in any kind of reforms, because at the end of the day, it's not about rules and regulations. It's about the lack of humanity in these people and the lack of humanity that they see in us. So I don't know. I don't have anything else to really add.
Folks, back to that Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one. Hey, folks at Seek.com, they're supporters of our show, and they have two fantastic products, this virtual reality headset right here and the 360-degree 4D headphones. With the virtual reality headset, if you want to watch the VR content on Seek.com or other 360-degree video, all you got to do is just get one of these headsets, pop your phone right in, and you can actually be right in the room where the content was shot. It's really compelling. It's really compelling content there. One of the things that I also love about it is, Ken, watching this video, people who've been hang gliding on roller coasters and things along those lines, and you literally feel like you're right there with them. They also have, of course, the headset, which you can use for gaming, for music, for videos, you name it. It's Bluetooth. Amazing sound, tremendous bass, and literally the sound goes all across your head. Mary Spio, a sister, she is the founder of this company. She actually also designed and created these products right here. If you want to get one or both, or even subscribe to Seek.com and their VR content, simply use this promo code RMVIP2020, RMVIP2020, and you can do so. And so we certainly, again, appreciate them being partners with us here at Roland Martin Unfiltered. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. As Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. All right, folks, if you want to see a fool talk, all you got to do is look at the news conference that Donald Trump gave today, folks, where he came out for the cameras talking about, of course, Operation Warp Speed and coronavirus. I mean, sounding like a complete fool. I mean, first of all, again, he's been, for somebody who constantly complained about Joe Biden during the election hiding in a basement, well, Trump has been hiding in his own basement, so shell-shocked about him getting his butt beat by Joe Biden. He's been so afraid to talk to the public. Here we are going through a significant coronavirus crisis. And finally, he decides to come out today to share a few words. Y'all ready for the stupidity? Here we go.
It's beautiful out here this time of year. In the past 9 months, my administration has initiated the single greatest mobilization in U.S. history, pioneering, developing, and manufacturing therapies and vaccines in record time, numbers like nobody's seen before. No medical breakthrough of this scope and magnitude has ever been achieved this rapidly, this quickly, and we're very proud of it, and I had tremendous help from the military, generals, admirals, and many of the great people at the White House. Operation Warp Speed is unequaled and unrivaled anywhere in the world, and leaders of other countries have called me to congratulate us on what we've been able to do, and we've helped many countries with their ventilators and all of the problems they were having, and I'd like to congratulate everyone involved in this effort. It's been an incredible effort. As a result of Operation Warp Speed, Pfizer announced on Monday that its China virus vaccine is more than 90% effective. This far exceeds any and all expectations. Nobody thought they'd get to that level. and we have others coming which we think will be at equal level, maybe more if that's possible. In July, my administration reached an agreement with Pfizer to provide $1.95 billion to support the mass manufacturing and distribution of 100 million doses, with the option to purchase a total of 600 million doses shortly thereafter. Our investment will make it possible for the vaccine to be provided by Pfizer free of charge. Pfizer said it wasn't part of Warp Speed, but that turned out to be an unfortunate misrepresentation. They are part. That's why we gave them the $1.95 billion. And it was an unfortunate mistake that they made when they said that. We will work to secure an emergency use authorization, which should be coming down extremely soon. And my administration will then coordinate the distribution of the vaccine, and it will be approved. I think, again, it will be approved very, very quickly, we hope. The average development timeline for the vaccine, including clinical tests and manufacturing, can take 8 to 12 years. Through Operation Warp Speed, we're doing it in less than 1 year.
That was all that drivel. That's all that drivel. Now, he was so hilarious. Brian Karam, of course, who is the White House correspondent for Playboy. Donald Trump made this statement, took no questions, but listen to the question Brian posed.
Mr. President, you lost the election. When will you admit that you lost the election? When will you admit you lost the election, sir? Mr. President, you lost the election. When will you admit that you lost the election? When will you admit you lost the election, sir?
See, that's when you know you are such a spoiled brat. When you can't even accept reality. You come before the cameras today, November 13th. The election is over. Election is over. And I don't know what I just, nothing. Let me bring in my panel. Gary Chambers, Jr., publisher, The Rouge Collection, Michael Imhotep, host, the African History Network show, Misha Cross, political analyst, and Democratic strategist. Gary, talk about hilarious. A 74-year-old grown-ass baby. That's who he is. I mean, scared to take questions. Okay, Mr. Normally, running his mouth, talking smack, talking about Sleepy Joe, living in his basement. Looks like that was a smart strategy because it beat your ass.
Facts. You know, I think that this is a window into the instability of Trump, right? That this guy cannot face reality. He's been in an alternative universe the entire time that he's been president. He is such a disgrace to this country. And I think it's really time for Republicans to have some sort of backlash for their refusal to admit that this guy is a disgrace, for them to distance themselves from him. And I'm just wondering, how long will the American people allow this to go on, right? There are raging numbers of coronavirus all over this country. And the guy is basically having a temper tantrum in the White House, where he's like, I don't want to do it anymore. You don't want me to be president? I'm just not going to do the job anymore, and he's not.
I mean, it is, I mean, he comes out with this news conference, Amisha, and I mean, again, just doesn't want to confront the reality that it's over. It's over. And he has no dignity. He has, just no class whatsoever. I mean, other presidents have lost. President George H.W. Bush was the last president to lose re-election. Gracious in defeat. Not this sucker.
But Roland, we knew this. We expected that Trump would not be someone not only who's gracious in defeat, but can even be respectful and acknowledge that he's been defeated. I think that it shows something that in how many days after the election, he still isn't able to come out and say anything. Heck, Georgia just went to Biden today, and we still haven't heard anything from Donald Trump related to the election at all, other than the things that he tweets about. I don't think that anything about today's speech was surprising. He had announced previous to the speech that he was going to be talking about Pfizer and basically trying to take credit for a vaccine. But I think that what we should be pushing on harder is the fact that there is a Republican contingency that is so afraid of losing Trump's base, that is so afraid of losing that attentiveness, those fundraising dollars, and everything that Trump and his body politic brought to this, that they will not confront and stand up and say, quite frankly, that this is over, that Joe Biden is the president-elect, that, you know, these lawsuits, they're frivolous, they're stupid, they're not going anywhere. What we have is a Republican contingency that even in the face of defeat at the presidential level, refuses to have the conversation and bring this man to grips with the fact that he lost, but also refuses to have that conversation with the American public. And they continue to cover for him because they're afraid that his base will turn against them. That, I think, is more demonstrative of where the party is going than it is of Donald Trump.
But the thing here, Michael, is just, first of all, it's laughable. I mean, I keep telling people I don't need Donald Trump to come out and concede. When you got your ass whooped, you got your ass whooped. Exactly. But just to watch a whiny big, I mean, the only thing he was missing was a sippy cup.
Roland, you know, I was listening to some of it today. I listened to maybe about 5 minutes, and I turned it off, brother. I turned to D.L. Hughley. Seriously. So I went back and read about some of what he said. I heard the interview that Governor Cuomo did, Governor Andrew Cuomo on MSNBC, because Trump singled out New York and said that when the vaccines come out, they're going to go to every state except the state of New York. So, you know, so the way this fool acted, and in the silence, so this is people have to understand, this is the first time he's spoken since in about the last 8 days, spoken publicly. Now, he's been tweeting, but he hasn't been tweeting about coronavirus. So if we look at yesterday, November 12th, 152,000 new cases of coronavirus, set a record again, 9th consecutive day where you had 100,000 new cases or more. 9th consecutive day. And then you have basically a record number of people hospitalized right now with coronavirus, 66,000 as of yesterday. So the way he continues to act, he acts like a bully, because a bully can dish it out, but a bully can't take it. And a bully can't take defeat. So the way he acted confirmed the 75 million votes, 76 million votes that Joe Biden has, and they're still coming in. And then Arizona was called for Joe Biden today as well. Okay, now we already knew Arizona was going. 2:50 a.m. November 4th, Wednesday, the Associated Press called it for Joe Biden in Arizona, but Arizona was called for Joe Biden today as well. So this once again confirms his defeat, but we got to watch him because he's dangerous. What he's doing, the moves he's making with the Pentagon, he's dangerous right now. But once again, the way he acted today, that confirmed us whooping his ass at the ballot box.
I mean, look, all the people besides themselves, Gary, I'm just enjoying the sullen, shock, devastation, whiny, I'm loving it. And they're getting their ass whooped every place in court. I mean, yes, they ain't winning nowhere. They've already pulled out of Arizona. The judge ruled against them in Michigan. And it's kind of like, except the ass whooping. He ordered one of the cyber officials to be fired, who released a statement yesterday saying that there was nothing wrong with the election. And his boss like, nah, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I mean, see, this is the moment where finally the Trump people, I guess, remember the movie The Brothers, where Chiwetel Ejiofor was the thug, and then they were out on Lake Michigan, and then they all turned against him, and he was talking that trash. Man, kill him. They were like, nah, we gonna kill you. That's what you're dealing with. Finally, his folks should be sitting here saying, nah, we gonna ignore you. And fine, you want to fire me, fire me. At some point, folks got to have some integrity to say, no, what you're doing is simply un-American, and we're not going to do it.
Well, I think that this is when, people have to recognize that there is change coming, right? That there is a change in this administration coming. And the folks that are in there, I think it is time for them to stand up, right? The American citizens who have held their peace for the last 4 years, trying to hold the framework of this democratic republic together. I think those folks now have an opportunity to stick their middle finger up at Trump and say, we here. A lot of those folks have protections. It's time for the career government employees to say, change is coming and we holding tight, because, he is going to, I think the brother was absolutely right. We don't know how far he's going to go before Election Day. And while it is fun to watch him be a spoiled brat, it is also concerning that the leadership around him in the Republican Party is not mobilizing to figure out how to get him to just accept defeat and move on. This is...
looks like we lost Gary there. There we go. Gary's back. Go ahead, Gary.
This is the opportunity for Republicans to begin to attempt to redeem themselves instead of continuing to wallow in the filth that is Donald Trump.
I mean, the thing here that we do have to be concerned about, Amisha, is, again, we're dealing with people. It's about power. It's about power. And what they're doing is they're just simply trying to make them feel good. I mean, this is sort of like parents. Can you just give the baby a cookie so they can stop crying? Can you just put them on the nipple? I mean, so they can stop crying. I mean, that's what you're dealing with Donald Trump. You're dealing with, I'm telling you, I mean, dealing with him is like me sitting here looking at my brothers and sisters having kids going, man, what y'all gonna do to quiet that baby?
To a certain extent, but this is actually populism 101. What we see in this Trump administration is basically dictatorial regime, and dictators don't give up power easily. And because he has this vetted base, and a base that's actually larger this go round in 2020 than it even was in 2016, he's emboldened. He's emboldened because the media let him get away with everything and run wild. He's emboldened because he was able to weaponize social media, not only in terms of spreading and massively spreading his lies, but also in terms of creating a stronger base. And I think that what we've seen now is someone who is going to ride off into the sunset with these individuals. And the RNC and the Republican Party that supports it. And they support it because they don't want to lose this newfound resonance they have with a crowd of people that didn't do anything with the Republican Party before. We have to remember that these are people who are largely, they know that Trump's already lost this race. I don't think anybody is confused about that. But when it comes to the fundraising apparatus and the fact that the majority of the funds that he is raising is going directly to the RNC, is going directly into these fights for the runoffs, is going directly to the Republican base, that is what they're looking forward to. So he may be crazy, but he's crazy as a fox. The man is sly. He's not as off the wall, baby Penny-anic as people think that he is. Yes, he is self-absorbed, and that's a problem in and of itself. But when you give a dictator room to grow, they will continue to grow. I'm more interested in what happens with the party after this, but also what Trump funnels his energies and these people into. Because I don't think this is the last we're going to hear of this type of regime, because the Republicans can't just turn that switch. Without Trump, they still have to give some type of red meat to this base, and they're not willing to let that base go.
Well, but what's happening?
We're going to have to pay close attention to it.
Yeah, but Michael, what we're already hearing these folks say is that before he's got to get out of the White House, he's going to announce that he's going to run in 2024. And again, I'm going, yeah, but you better hope Tish James don't indict your behind.
Exactly.
This is, and you know what, Michael? Here's the other deal. You got a lot of people out here who are saying, what are Democrats doing? They should be fighting this. He got to get off the stage. No. If you're Joe Biden, you're sitting here saying, y'all, give your little attention. Because when I get sworn in, I'm the president. See, this is where here's the deal. When somebody has no bottom, there's no such thing as a new low. Okay? Right. There's no such thing as a new low. If you're Joe Biden, your time right now is best spent with your VP-elect Kamala Harris and you building out your team. Right. You're sitting here determining who you're going to be the cabinet picks, who's going to work in your administration. Let the circus is going to leave town. What you don't do is try to put on your show while the chaotic circus is in town. Let the chaotic circus leave and then handle your business.
Exactly. You know, we see that Joe Biden has announced Ron Klain as his chief of staff, who's going to be his chief of staff. Joe Biden announced the people who are going to be on his coronavirus team earlier this week. So Biden doesn't need to respond to the lunacy that is Donald Trump. Everything that Donald Trump does or tweets, Biden doesn't have to respond to that. Biden is being more of a president now than Donald Trump has been these past 3.5, almost 4 years. But Trump said he's going to run again in 2024. Trump is trying to keep raising money. That's what this is about. Okay, it's not just Letitia James in the state of New York. It's also Cy Vance in New York as well. Remember, when we go back to the conviction of Michael Cohen, Donald Trump's attorney for 10 years, and Michael Cohen provided documentation to corroborate the allegations he was making against Trump. There, if I remember correctly, it's about 14 unsealed indictments there in one of the districts in New York. Okay, when he leaves office, that stuff is going to be revealed. The other thing is he can run again in 2024, but I think Cy Vance will have had Donald Trump's taxes by then, and it would be revealed. So then Trump is going to have to, if he's dumb enough to run again, he's going to have to deal with that. He can't run again in 2024 and say he's not going to reveal his taxes and say he's still under audit. Well, hold on, you were under audit 9 years before that in 2015. Man,
he gonna lie. He gonna lie. First of all, this whole deal, I'm running, is a big old ruse. Here's the reality. He needs the attention. He has to be center stage. And that's the deal. They're trying to create this political action committee. They want to stay in the game. But what they want to be able to do is they got to feed the beast. They got to keep booking events at his properties. They got to keep doing it at his hotels. And he wants to keep a stranglehold on the Republican Party. He's already announced Ronna McDaniel is going to be endorsing her to stay on his GOP chair. If the Republican Party was smart, like I said, if they were smart, when they vote in January, the first thing they would do is say, nah, she got to go. Mm-hmm. But look, they might want to keep crazy. But I do think what has to happen is, like right now, they're freaking out because he basically hasn't tweeted anything about the Georgia race. He hasn't said anything at all. And in fact, they're even wondering, is he going to even come to Georgia and campaign? All right, folks, back to that Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, folks, this is the Seat.com virtual reality headset. What happens is you just pop your phone right into here, and then when you close it up, you can actually look at the content on Seat.com, their VR content, or you can look at other 360-degree video that puts you right into the room. So, like, literally, you can just be looking all over. And so, Mary Spio is the founder of the company. She's the innovator behind this, a black woman, sister from Ghana. And so that's their VR headset. They also have these 360-degree 4D headphones. A tremendous bass that covers all across your head. Great sound. Gamers love them. You can attach a headset to this as well. It's Bluetooth. Folks, if you want to get either one of these devices, go to Seek.com, CEEK.com. That's Seek.com, CEEK.com. Use the promo code RMVIP2020. RMVIP 2020, and check that out. And so we certainly appreciate them being partners with us here at Roland Martin Unfiltered, where we, of course, support black-owned businesses like Seek.com. And also go to their site. You can also subscribe to their monthly content. That's right there on Seek.com. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. Sadistic, crazy, and out of their minds. There's no other way to describe Republicans who are fighting for Donald Trump. In Wayne County, Michigan, where Detroit is, talk about bizarre. Monica Palmer and William Hartman, the two Republicans on the board of canvassers, there are four, claimed and signed affidavits yesterday that they were bullied into siding with Democrats and have now rescinded their votes to certify the election. Here's the problem with that. You already voted, it was unanimous. And then Michigan, they're going to certify the results on Monday. Now we find out that the reason they rescinded, because they got a phone call from Donald Trump. Is he now tampering with the election process? Yeah. Now, Monica and Hartman's an absolute racist, if you saw the post about Barack Obama on his Facebook page. They were so hurt. They were so hurt because another white man, that is Ned Stabler, president and CEO of TechTown and vice president for economic development at Wayne State University. Please show us the two offended white people in Wayne County, Republicans, who are just so hurt. This guy, Ned, he was one of the people, Stabler, who spoke up against them. And they said that this right here, his video, is why they were bullied and their families were getting threats because of people like Ned.
We also know that the Secretary of State and the Attorney General have already tweeted out that your legal arguments are rubbish and you're going to lose when it comes to court. So we're not worried about that at all. I'm also not worried about any of your, things are bad so we can't certify arguments, because that's just ridiculous. You certified in August when they were worse. Less than 50% of the ballots were recountable. Now over 72% are. 58% of them are even balanced when it was less than 30% last time. So it's doubled. It's gotten way better because the Secretary of State actually jumped in and did her job, unlike you. But I know it's not going to change your opinion. You talked about not certifying Detroit, even though you acknowledged that Livonia, a city, by the way, I know you know is 95% white, had bigger variances than Detroit, which is 80% black. We understand, and you've now added your name. So I'm not going to try to change your mind. I just want to let you know that the Trump stink, the stain of racism that you, William Hartman, and Monica Palmer have just covered yourself in is going to follow you throughout history. Your grandchildren are going to think of you like Bull Connor or George Wallace. Monica Palmer and William Hartman will forever be known in southeastern Michigan as two racists who did something so unprecedented that they disenfranchised hundreds of thousands of black voters in the city of Detroit because they were ordered to. Probably, I know, Monica, you think Q told you to do it or some other crazy stuff like that. But just know when you try to sleep tonight, that millions of people around the world now on Twitter know the name Monica Palmer and William Hartman as two people completely racist and without an understanding of what integrity means or a shred of human decency. The law isn't on your side, history won't be on your side, your conscience will not be on your side, and Lord knows, when you go to meet your maker, your soul is going to be very, very warm.
So, according to the Detroit Free Press, Monica Palmer told them that her family had received multiple threats. The threats have been made against myself, my daughter, and my husband. Reports have been filed with Grosse Pointe Woods Police and the FBI. Yet the Attorney General's office of Michigan said their office had not received a referral about such threats from a police agency, but would act quickly if such a referral is made. They signed these affidavits because they say that they're rescinding their vote. Now, mind y'all, the vote was, we will certify the results if an audit is done. That was the agreement. They now say, we rescind it because we don't think the audit is going to be done. That actually makes no sense. Joining us right now is Jonathan Kinloch. He is vice chair of the Wayne County Board of Canvassers for an update on this one. Wayne, first of all, Jonathan, this is really stuck on stupid. I mean, this whole deal of, oh, we got doxxed and we were harassed. Wasn't that a public hearing? Which means that a public hearing means you hear from the public.
That's the absolute correct characterization of where we were in the agenda. We were receiving public comment, and this came after. We're talking about after Monica Palmer had was pretty much asked if we would consider a motion to certify the election and not include the city of Detroit votes. So when we went to public comment, folks were outraged.
And again, listen, hold on. Let's stop right there. She had no problem certifying all results in Wayne County except Detroit.
That's correct.
Go ahead.
Except Detroit.
Go ahead.
Except Detroit. And you have to realize that, just understand the backdrop of this. You had every day since the election, the Trump campaign has been filing lawsuits. And in those lawsuits, they have been targeting the voters in Detroit, period. And then for her to be an officer on this board to have asked, it wasn't something that is normally done. She asked for us to consider, asked if we would consider certifying without Detroit, in which I was outraged. And it was unacceptable for her, and it was totally disrespectful for her to even let that roll off of her tongue. So when the folks began to lash into her and lash into Hartman, it was from the point of the motion to certify not being able to be passed, because they claim all of these issues occurred that warrant them not doing what is a ministerial duty of this canvasser. So that's something that we normally do. We get reports from our staff stating that these communities are in balance, out of balance, but you are not supposed to let that cause for you not to certify, not to move forward the election results to move forward to be fully certified by the State Board of Canvassers. So now she's talking about, look, she wants to, she and Hartman are saying they want to rescind their vote. They can't do that. Let me say something, Roland. After we voted to certify the election, as we included to a request to ask the Secretary of State to perform an audit, we also had voted to waive any reconsideration. So all of this jockeying and all of this stuff here is just only to appease the Trump campaign. That's all what this is about. Because as soon as we voted, soon as the vote failed to certify the election, the Republican Party and Donald Trump immediately, I think they said within minutes, had posted on social media congratulating them and thanking them for not certifying Black folk votes.
Now, Donald Trump is calling Michigan Republican leaders to the White House, and they're going to go tomorrow because he wants them to basically ignore the will of the voters, forget the fact that Joe Biden won Michigan, and he wants them to seat Republican electors for him. Jonathan there? I think Jonathan froze on us. Let me know if we get Jonathan back because he froze on us. I gotta bring in Erica Savage Wilson, host Savage Politics Podcast, Dr. Greg Carr, chair, Department of Afro-American Studies, Howard University, Reese Colbert, Black Women Views. Let me know when we have Jonathan back. These racists, Greg, are showing us exactly who they are. They're targeting Black people. It's undeniable. And what you also have is you have Black Republicans who have no courage whatsoever, no guts, don't give a damn about Black people, silent. Republican Party's apparatus, silent. We're going to get to a little bit in a minute that crazy, I'm talking about ridiculous news conference that was, if it wasn't so serious when it comes to democracy, you would have thought that crap was an SNL skit. But that's what we're dealing with. We are dealing with an absolutely out of control, deranged man who is scared to death because he knows what's coming, Tish James.
He knows what's coming, Roland. I mean, it is remarkable, isn't it? This experiment we call America, that is not guaranteed to continue. These people have abandoned all pretense. Mike Shirkey, who is leader of the Michigan Senate Republican, is coming here to Washington, D.C. to meet with Donald Trump. They're not even pretending anymore. I mean, it was remarkable to me that 95% of the vote in Detroit went to Biden, and maybe about 70% of the vote in the larger county, of course. But the local board of canvassers, they're trying to hold this up, and the state board of canvassers meets on Monday. And if they don't do their job, Whitmer can still select and appoint those Democratic, the winner of the popular election, Democratic delegates to the Electoral College. They're not going to be able to overturn this. However, they have now declared, damn any concept of America or democracy, our hatred for Black people, we wear on our sleeves. And whether it's finally the folks in Michigan or Loeffler and them in Georgia or Lindsey Graham out of South Carolina, they are forming, it's not an overreach to call them a clavering. Why? This is the language of the Ku Klux Klan. Yeah. we done dropped all pretenses. Don't count those Black votes. That's it.
We have Jonathan back. Jonathan, Trump has actually called the Republican leaders in the legislative body to D.C. tomorrow for a meeting. I mean, this is a person, a candidate who is actually trying to interfere with the election process.
And we are at a place right now in Michigan history and in the United States history where, you have a president and a Republican Party who are making allegations as it relates to corruption. But what they're trying to do is corrupt the process. It is absolutely inappropriate for the president, the Republican Party, or any of these individuals to invite the leaders in the House for the purpose of rigging or to interfere with this election. Let me just tell you something that they're not taking into account. Where they could not get a writ at the county level, they can absolutely go into the courts on Monday and get a judge to order the State Board of Canvassers to certify the election. It is not a discretionary power that is placed upon the County Board of Canvassers or the State Board of Canvassers. So at the end of the day, I think their gamemanship is going to fall flat on its face. This is just, we're at a very, very uncharted point in history. And unfortunately, Donald Trump finds himself on the wrong side of history.
And the thing here, Jonathan, the Wayne County Board has voted. What the hell is the process to go, oh, no, I know we voted, but now we rescind?
There is no rescinding. After 14 days, the purview of any sort of consideration as it relates to the general election is over, as it relates to all county board of canvassers. All 83 counties across the state lose the opportunity to weigh in after the 14 days. It is now 100% in the purview of the State Board of Canvassers, which will meet on Monday, period. So there is no rescinding, and they know this. I mean, all of this is just ridiculous to even be stating and putting out there in the public.
It's absolutely crazy. Jonathan Kinloch, man, we certainly appreciate it. Thanks a bunch. We'll keep watching what happens there in Wayne County.
Absolutely. Thank you for inviting me.
I appreciate it. I want to go back to my panel here. Reese, I mean, what we are seeing are corrupt, thuggish individuals. That's what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with the likes of Rudy Giuliani, Donald Trump. They are thugs. There's no other way to describe this.
Well, that and white supremacists, white nationalists. We've been saying on this show for months, this is all about maintaining white power. And, democracy or, law and order, whatever kind of slogans are nothing but a pretext for them to use as long as it's convenient for them. And then when it's no longer convenient for it, the hell with it. And that's what they're showing it. This is all theatrics, but for our sake, it's wonderful that we have gotten out of cheating distance, because what this has made abundantly clear is that if this were within cheating distance, we would have a constitutional crisis on our hands right now when the illegitimate president of the United States is obstructing an election tampering. That would be a crisis in terms of this country. For now, we can take it for what it is, which is theatrics, and it's transparently racist tactics. But what I'm hoping, especially Black people out there, are seeing is, number one, your vote matters. Number two, that we have to vote for our own survival in numbers that are not enough just to be the status quo. We have to vote in record turnout just for our own survival. We should be noticing right now that, for another thing, is the silence of the people, the Black rappers and the Black celebrities, or whatever kind of celebrities that were touting that Donald Trump was going to invest in the Black community. Donald Trump is perpetuating the notion that Black people are not full citizens within this country by laser-like targeting of our votes. He's unsuccessful, but we should take note of it, and we should take note of the people who are conspiring with him, which is the entire Republican Party. The people who have not spoken out, the Republicans, are cowards, and they're co-conspirators, and they're complicit. We should be taking note of that. And so in the upcoming Georgia election, we understand and we need to vote like our lives depend on it, because Trump is going to be gone, but Mitch McConnell is going to be there. These same corrupt cowards are going to be there. But one thing that Republicans boss up and have the balls to do is obstruct any and everything that helps this country, any and everything that the Democrats do. They grow a pair when it comes to doing that. So we have to do everything in our power to make sure that Mitch McConnell is not the majority leader after the Georgia elections on January 5th.
What we are seeing here, Erica, is, first of all, if you're Black and if you were confused as to whether or not your vote mattered, this right here says it all. They are desperate. They are targeting Black voters, Black people. That's who they're targeting, pure and simple. And so if you Black and you think your vote don't matter, boo, they ain't fighting that hard if your vote didn't matter.
Absolutely, Roland. And then to think that they are doing this as 251,000 bodies lay dead from coronavirus, and that the Senate has essentially left D.C. Until November the 30th for recess without passing any type of stimulus package to help those very same groups of people. I also believe that this is actually serving as a wake-up call for, again, as Reese said, we've been talking about this for months, for people to understand that you have to engage your electors. You have to be an engaged citizen. And what does that look like? What does that mean? I'm in Georgia, so guess what I'm going to be doing this weekend? I'm going to be talking to rural voters because 600,000 secured ballots have deployed from the state of Georgia, and that's how Georgia was able to secure that 65% of that Biden-Harris coalition to push him over for and flip Georgia blue, essentially. But there's still people that during this runoff election need to continue to be enthused, that they need to be engaged and understand that the process for what they did in the general election starts over essentially again for Georgians as we enter into this all-important Senate election where we would have our Madam Vice President-elect casting tie-breaking votes. So, again, looking at Republicans, they're not trying to engage Black people to bring them into the party. They're only engaging Black people to use them as puppets and as partners, as accomplices to white, as I'm now calling it, white arrogance. They are not interested in pushing a coalition together to help build, to help ensure that people are taken care of. They're interested in very much so engaged in white apartheid. And so people have to understand that these are the things that can happen if, in fact, we relinquish our authority as citizens, the privilege that we have to vote, what we have to do as partners to make sure that people around us to our left and our right and engage our vote and that we have to show up. If that's every year, if that's every 2 years, if it's every 4 years, whatever that looks like in your local municipality, you have the responsibility to engage to ensure that these fractures, these fissures that do keep our democracy together aren't completely broken.
Folks, back to that Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one. Hey, folks at Seek.com, they're supporters of our show, and they have two fantastic products, this virtual reality headset right here, and the 360-degree 4D headphone. With the virtual reality headset, if you want to watch the VR content on Seek.com or other 360-degree video, all you got to do is just get one of these headsets, pop your phone right in, and you can actually be right in the room where the content was shot. It's really compelling. It's really compelling content there. One of the things that I also love about it is, Ken, watching this video, people who've been hang gliding on roller coasters and things along those lines, and you literally feel like you're right there with them. They also have, of course, the headset, which you can use for gaming, for music, for videos, you name it. It's Bluetooth. Amazing sound, tremendous bass, and literally the sound goes all across your head. Mary Spio, a sister, she is the founder of this company. She actually also designed and created these products right here. If you want to get one or both, or even subscribe to Seek.com and their VR content, simply use this promo code RMVIP2020, RMVIP2020, and you can do so. And so we certainly, again, appreciate them being partners with us here at Roland Martin Unfiltered. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. You know what time it is.
No charcoal grills are allowed.
Wow, the clip.
Why? I got you, Carl. Illegally selling water without a permit on my property. Whoa! Hey! Give us your right. You don't live here. I'm uncomfortable.
Autumn Tillman, San Francisco, says her neighbor has been spouting racist rants in the building's hallway for years. She finally decided to confront him, and lucky for us, she captured all on video.
Do you ever shut the up? Ever shut the up in front of my door with your racist every day? You are this, Asians that.
To go live in Asia. Funny how it's a white country. 200 years of white supremacy. If you thought Asian lives matter, they don't matter to us one bit.
So, Reese, she confronted him. A local station interviewed him. He made it clear, hey, we should only look at white. I only care about men. I don't care about Asians, black people. I mean, that's the whole deal there. To me, if you're the building, you boot somebody like that out. I mean, this is an unrepentant bigot.
And why not be? It's Trump's America for now. So what's the point of even hiding? Come on out. Wave that flag. Wave that white supremacist flag so everybody can see it. What's going to happen? I mean, you know, for a while there, we had a decent run with people going viral and, oh, this person lost their job and then they passed the Karen Act or whatever else in some places. But what's stopping them? You can't reason with these people. This is what they believe.
Look, I mean, this is a liberal San Francisco, Erica.
Ooh, child, liberal, progressive, all these cute terms. These folks are white. Okay, the beginning and end of the day, they are absolutely white. They relish in their whiteness. They are 1,000% white. I don't care if they marry somebody black. I don't care if their best friend is black. These folks are white. And I'm with Reese. Let your freak flag fly. Let everybody see who you are. Because, you know, at some time in the very near future, you will be the minority. And I'm wanting to see how bold that they are going to be when that time arrives. But for, the time being, this is just par for the course. And this is nothing that it definitely is surprising to Black folks.
Absolutely there, Greg. I mean, it's like, look, I mean, this is what we see. Bottom line is these folks out here, and that's why rolling the video is so important. And you know what? Yeah, confront his ass. Confront him. Every time. You run up on a racist, confront him.
Roland, this has been a harrowing 2 hours we've spent this Thursday. All of those heavy stories, all of that. And so to end on this note, it just reminds us, everyone watching, the thousands who are watching, this is why you have to support Roland Martin Unfiltered. Because when we leave this space in a second, and you look at this commercial and news entertainment media, not only are you not going to see any of these stories, the ones that talk about the same subjects, you're not going to hear any of this conversation. And if you watch that other BS long enough, you might think that's reality. That white man, Reese, I'm with you. Reese done had enough, y'all. It's like, look, I ain't got no answer. Look, Donald Trump, what has he said different from Donald Trump? Nothing, except what Trump is doing, McConnell and them, they have weaponized this man, and now he can just walk the halls. Yeah, he's in San Francisco, but they have priced out the kind of people that wouldn't film that. That dude would have been laid out in San Francisco 30 years ago. First of all, they'd have been like, we ain't going to complain to nobody. You ain't going to hear him no more, sis. Is that him? Good, we got that. And you wouldn't have heard no more talk from him. You wouldn't even seen him no more. They wouldn't have heard him, but he would have been removed from the situation. But we're now living in a country where if that sister were to call the police, they may come in there and shoot her. This country
Great point.
was never a country. So the important thing is to understand either this thing gonna be reconstructed from the bottom up, or it's gonna be war in the street. Because white boys like that talking, they get hands in a lot of places.
Back to that Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one. Hey, folks at Seek.com, they're supporters of our show, and they have two fantastic products, this virtual reality headset right here, and the 360-degree 4D headphones. With the virtual reality headset, if you want to watch the VR content on Seek.com or other 360-degree video, all you got to do is just get one of these headsets, pop your phone right in, and you can actually be right in the room where the content was shot. It's really compelling. It's really compelling content there. One of the things that I also love about it is, Ken, watching this video, people who've been hang gliding on roller coasters and things along those lines, and you literally feel like you're right there with them. They also have, of course, the headset, which you can use for gaming, for music, for videos, you name it. It's Bluetooth. Amazing sound, tremendous bass, and literally the sound goes all across your head. Mary Spio, a sister, she is the founder of this company. She actually also designed and created these products right here. If you want to get one or both, or even subscribe to Seek.com and their VR content, simply use this promo code RMVIP2020, RMVIP2020, and you can do so. And so we certainly, again, appreciate them being partners with us here at Roland Martin Unfiltered. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. As Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. This is utterly ridiculous. This is a clear targeting of black people.
That's absolutely correct. It was astounding that someone who would even be able to curve their mouth to say, let's certify this election, excluding the votes in the city of Detroit. Let me just say this. Under Michigan election law, an out-of-balance precinct is not reason enough not to certify an election. Our job is to certify what isn't. If we find some precincts that are out of balance, we're able to put them in a report and along with the certification. It was just amazing to hear the public during the public comment portion of the meeting basically educate my fellow board members on the importance of voting and the impact of what they were doing. I clearly did not expect when we started the meeting that these board members would cave into the pressures that I know that they have been dealing with over the past week. You had lawsuits after lawsuits filed every morning in the city of Detroit since the election because Donald J. Trump cannot accept the fact that the people of America have put his reign of terror to an end.
The thing here, again, the brazen attempt, Reverend Anthony, to discredit black voters. This is not just in Detroit. Donald Trump and his minions and Rudy Giuliani and all his thugs and their imps talking about voter fraud in Philadelphia. What does that mean? Black people. Today, the Trump folks, they filed a partial recount in Wisconsin. One, they can't afford to pay for the full recount. It will cost $9 to $10 million. So now they want to do a partial recount. Where? Milwaukee and Dane County, where 75% of all black people in Wisconsin lived. This is a direct attack on blackness by Republicans.
I couldn't agree with you more, Roland. It is a nefarious, treacherous, corrupt assault on the African-American vote. When you look at where they are trying to purge and squeeze the vote out, it is in black cities. You named them: Philadelphia, Milwaukee, Detroit, Atlanta. All of these are areas where black people have flourished and are casting their ballots to vote. And the interesting thing about this is that they're not saying stop the vote, discredit the vote, where they are winning and have won. They're saying where they have not won and are losing. It is a solution in search of a problem. It is the worst example of gangsterism. And that's what I called it. It's a gangster move. It's a thug move. Donald Trump makes Al Capone look like a choir boy. When you look at the kind of strategic alliances that they have built, if we were in another country, Roland, we would call this a political coup. That's what it would be. You have the top military people being discharged. You have the head of the elections cyber security commission being fired. You have the head of the national security team being fired. You have the head of the post office slowing down the mailing system. You have long lines of 13 hours in black precincts around the country being extended. You have gerrymandering going on in black communities. You have a president who is refusing to acknowledge the oncoming administration and saying, I will not leave unless I'm declared the winner. If it looks like a coup, smells like a coup, operates like a coup, then my God, it must be a coup, a political one. And the reality is that black folk have fought too long, suffered too much to be turned back now. What we saw in Wayne County last night, and I want to thank Jonathan and his colleagues for standing strong. What we saw was the onslaught of the people who said, hell no, this won't go. The people stood up and articulated their concern. They did not charge the folk outside of Detroit who had more issues than the city of Detroit with needing a recount or needing an audit. They only wanted to deal with the city of Detroit. If that's not blatant racism, if that's not a nefarious attempt to disenfranchise a segment of the population, I don't know what is. One of the members of the team of canvassers has on his Facebook page, William Hartman, pictures of former President Barack Obama. He is portrayed as a thief, as a Muslim, and nothing is wrong with being Muslim. He is being portrayed as a pirate in a very dehumanizing and disrespectful manner. So if that's the way the guy thinks privately, you know what he's going to be doing publicly when it comes to giving and accounting the vote. But let me say this. No matter what they do or how they try to cheat or negate a reduced to vote. On January the 20th, 2021, at around 12 o'clock noon, a man is going to take his left hand and put it on the Bible and take his right hand and put it in the air. And his name is Joseph R. Biden. He will be sworn in as the 46th president of the United States, and for the first time in our nation's history, a sister who is an AKA, who went to Howard University, will be sworn in as the first African-American woman vice president of these United States of America. Now run and tell that somebody.
Jonathan, I'm sitting here looking at, go to my iPad, folks. This is a thread by someone. They said, wait until you hear how William Hartman told the Zoom participants that he was picking white people to speak because he didn't know how to pronounce other people's names. Now that he got called out more than once for it, he keeps making people who aren't white pronounce their names. He's just been told this is still being live streamed on Facebook. Now he's being told off for lowering people's hands on Zoom instead of letting them speak. And Monica left and isn't even listening them more. They muted themselves. I mean, these people, Jonathan, have just no regard for the voters. They have complete disregard for black people, and for Monica to actually say, "Oh yeah, we'll certify it as long as we can keep Detroit out." There's something ambiguous about that comment. That is an absolute racist comment from the head of the Board of Canvassers. For the people out there, are these appointed positions? Are they elected positions?
These are appointed positions. We're nominated by our respective parties to the Wayne County Commission, and the commission appoint us only from the names that are submitted from the party. These individuals, it just, like I said, it was astounding to see them in action. But you got to understand, and you know this as a black man, that white folks don't understand the journey that we have taken in this country to be able to obtain the right to vote. And so I had to call her away from the meeting to basically explain to her what you did. We got to correct this. We have to correct this. It is our duty to not put out into the public, put out into the world that we in this county and this board are comfortable with just have a total disregard for 800 and some odd thousand votes. I mean, it made no sense for them to have voted initially to not certify this election. But let me tell you this: the people stood up. The people showed, brought shame on the actions of the board. And from what I understand, they are continuing even unto this day, contacting these board members, showing their outrage. No. Let me just tell you, they are still going to have to respond to a number of stakeholders in our community. So yes, the action was corrected on yesterday. Yes, I got to recognize them for even listening to the comments and changing that vote. Because I'm gonna tell you something. It would have been a horrible page in history for us to go on record as to have a total disregard and disenfranchisement of 800 and some odd thousand folks. But more specifically, we know Donald Trump is targeting black communities, but more especially black Detroit. That was what that was about.
But Roland, that is why it is so important for us to stay on the case. This is not over until the 23rd of next month, next week, when it is certified by the full state. That's why people must remain vigilant. That's why we got to stay on the case. That's why it has to be monitored. You mentioned the name calling. Wendell Anthony is a very simple name for people to call and pronounce. Ain't nothing difficult about that.
No.
My mama made it real simple. And you can see me very clearly. I know I'm a dark chocolate, but I sit under a light. But had not I been called out, then they would not have recognized me. But I had to be called out. Wendell Anthony is on the line. He has to speak. And I was determined to speak, as well as many other people. So I'm simply saying it shows the power of the people. It showed the power of those who are determined to stand up in the likes of a Fannie Lou and a John Lewis who said that the vote is the most precious thing that we have as a nonviolent weapon. It's almost sacred. It says that we did not come this far for history to be turned back. It says that we must continue not only to stand in line, but to be in line, to make sure that once we exercise the franchise, we must guard it and monitor it. That's why the Voting Rights Act has to be fully implemented. That's why we need a new administration. That's why the voting and the necessity for programs such as yours to get out the information to the people is critical for such a time as this. We ain't going back. I say it all the time. I ain't going back to the plantation. I've come off. I ain't going back. Before I'd be a slave again, I'd be dead and be buried in my grave and go on home to my God and be free. I ain't ready to go home yet. So therefore, I'm going to keep fighting the good fight. And I encourage everybody else to do the same thing.
Well, we certainly think that y'all on the front lines. Jonathan, certainly let us know if there are going to be people moving against these two, trying to get them removed from this board of canvassers because their actions here are certainly despicable and they need to be replaced. And the Republicans in Wayne County definitely should be put on blast and called out for standing with these two at all times. We appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one. Seek.com, founded by Mary Spio, a sister, have these amazing VR headsets. Allows for you to watch their content, the virtual reality content, right here on the headset. You simply pop your phone right into here, close it up, and then you will put yourself in the room watching their VR content on Seek.com or, of course, content that is on other platforms. And so you can check that out. They also have these 4D 360-degree headphones right here with tremendous bass that really distributes the sound all across your head. It's great. You can attach a headset to it, so you can actually use it for gaming and playing with free hands. There's Bluetooth as well. So all of these, get one of these items, or you can subscribe to the content at Seek.com by going to Seek.com using this promo code. It's RMVIP2020, RMVIP2020. These, of course, could be some great headphones coming up for birthdays, Christmas, you name it. And so if you want to do that, just go use the promo code right here, RMVIP2020, RMVIP2020, by going to Seek.com. And we certainly appreciate them being a partner here with Roland Martin Unfiltered.